What makes some people unforgettable? What is that invisible thread that pulls others toward them, makes them trusted, respected, admired? Is it wealth, talent, intelligence, or is it something simpler, hidden in plain sight? Imagine walking into a crowded room. One person speaks and everyone listens. Another speaks and everyone drifts away. What separates them is not always brilliance, but something Carnegie discovered long ago, the timeless art of winning friends and influencing people. This is not a trick. It is not manipulation. It is the ability to touch what every human being carries inside, the desire to feel important, to be understood, to matter. Dale Carnegie's book has been passed from hand to hand for nearly a century because it answers a question as old as civilization. How do we connect with each other in a way that lasts? This is the journey we take today, through the stories, lessons and truths that continue to shape leaders, visionaries, and ordinary people who learn to build extraordinary relationships. Carnegie begins with the most striking idea of all. People do not hunger for logic, they hunger for appreciation. Think of a child showing a drawing to a parent. The lines are shaky, the colors outside the shapes, but when the parent's eyes light up, the child feels powerful. That same hunger does not fade with age. Adults crave the same recognition. We carry it into boardrooms, into marriages, into friendships, and when it is missing, resentment grows. Criticism is like salt poured into wounds. It hardens hearts instead of softening them. Carnegie tells us, if you want someone to listen, do not begin with blame. Begin with genuine appreciation. A kind word, spoken with sincerity, has more power to transform than 1,000 arguments. Think about Abraham Lincoln, who faced enemies not only on the battlefield, but in the press. He was criticized ruthlessly, mocked for his appearance, doubted for his leadership. Lincoln learned that fighting back only fueled the fire. Instead, he turned critics into allies by showing patience, respect, and humor. One editor who had once insulted him publicly became one of his strongest supporters because Lincoln never retaliated. He understood that influence is not won through force, but through grace. Now imagine the opposite. Picture a manager who constantly scolds his team. Each mistake becomes a weapon. Productivity declines, morale collapses, and loyalty dies. The manager may believe he is strong, but he is eroding the very foundation of leadership. Carnegie saw this everywhere in business, in families, in politics, and he gave a warning. Criticism makes people defend their pride, not change their behavior. If you want change, show people what they can be, not what they failed to be. Carnegie then reveals another hidden truth. The sweetest sound in any language is a person's own name. A name is not just a label. It is identity, history, dignity. Say it correctly, remember it, use it, and you touch something deep in the soul. Forget it or misuse it, and you wound without knowing. Picture a busy shop owner who greets each customer not with sir or ma'am, but with their name. Watch their faces brighten. Loyalty grows not because of discounts or advertisements, but because the owner makes them feel seen. This is influence. Influence is not a grand gesture. It is 1,000 small recognitions of another's humanity. But there is more. People do not care about your stories until they know you care about theirs. Too many conversations are disguised battles, each person waiting for their turn to speak. Carnegie challenges us to reverse this. Ask questions, listen actively, let the other person speak more. Show interest in what excites them. You will learn that influence comes not from dominating conversations, but from creating space for others to shine. A great example comes from Theodore Roosevelt. Before meeting anyone, he studied their interests so he could talk about what mattered to them. One day he might learn about naval history, the next about cattle farming. Why? Because he knew people loved to discuss their passions. Roosevelt left each meeting remembered as one of the most engaging conversationalists of his time, not because he spoke the most, but because he listened the best. Carnegie's wisdom cuts deeper when he speaks about arguments. Have you ever truly won one? You may silence the other person, but did they walk away changed or simply angry? Carnegie declares the truth many refuse to face. The only way to win an argument is to avoid it. Arguments do not convert, they entrench. If you want to guide someone, seek agreement, not victory. Begin with areas where you both share common ground. Acknowledge their perspective. Then, gently, invite them toward yours. It is persuasion without battle. It is the art of guiding without pushing. And here is a paradox: if you want people to trust you, admit your mistakes quickly. It feels counterintuitive. Our instinct is to defend, to justify, to protect pride. Yet, humility has more power than arrogance. When you say, "I was wrong," you remove the other person's weapon. They no longer need to attack you, instead they respect you. Carnegie shares stories of businessmen who diffused anger by confessing their errors up front. Instead of lawsuits or conflicts, they built trust. It takes courage to admit fault, but courage creates influence. Perhaps the most beautiful lesson in the book is this: always appeal to nobler motives. People may act out of self-interest, but deep down, they want to believe they are good. If you ask someone to do something by appealing to greed, they may respond. But if you appeal to their sense of honor, generosity, or justice, they rise higher. Think of a leader asking workers to stay late, not for profit, but for the pride of delivering excellence. The same task, reframed, becomes a calling. When you appeal to the nobler side of people, you give them dignity, and dignity creates loyalty. Carnegie also emphasizes the power of suggestion over command. Instead of saying, "Do this," ask, "What do you think about trying this?" People resist orders, but they embrace ownership. A teacher who tells students what to write may receive compliance. A teacher who invites students to choose their own subject sparks creativity. The principle is universal. Let people feel the idea is theirs, and they will carry it with pride. Then comes the principle of encouragement. Everyone struggles with self-doubt. Everyone fears failure. Harsh words deepen those fears. Encouragement, even for small steps, awakens confidence. Carnegie tells the story of Charles Schwab, a steel magnate, who built loyalty not by criticizing workers for mistakes, but by praising them for progress. He believed people could be led more easily by showing them their strengths than by pointing out their weaknesses. Think about your own life. When someone encouraged you, even in small ways, didn't it fuel your drive more than criticism ever could? And finally, Carnegie brings us to the heart of human nature, the need to feel important. This is the invisible current running through every interaction. Ignore it, and relationships wither. Nurture it, and you win trust forever. Every lesson in the book circles back to this truth. The man who makes others feel unimportant loses influence, no matter his power. The one who lifts others, who gives them dignity, who leaves them feeling better than before, gains influence without effort. Now pause and imagine your own life through this lens. How many arguments could dissolve if you chose listening over speaking? How many relationships could heal if you chose encouragement over criticism? How many opportunities might open if you remembered names, gave credit, admitted mistakes? Carnegie is not asking you to pretend or flatter. He is asking you to see people, truly see them, and to treat them as though they matter because they do. The genius of Carnegie's work is not in complexity, but in simplicity. These are not secrets hidden in books of philosophy. They are truths we already know, but fail to practice. Why? Because our ego blinds us. We want recognition. We want to be heard. We want to be right. Carnegie holds up a mirror and says, the key to influence is not feeding your own ego, but tending to the egos of others. When you master this, you do not lose yourself. You expand yourself. You become someone others trust, follow, and remember. Picture this. You walk into a meeting where tensions run high. Instead of asserting your authority, you begin by praising a colleague's recent effort. The atmosphere softens. Instead of arguing, you acknowledge the other side's concerns. They lean in. Instead of ordering, you ask for opinions. People open up. The outcome is not forced, it flows. And when the meeting ends, people do not just respect your decision, they respect you. This is what Carnegie meant. Influence is not about power, it is about connection. As the pages of the book close, one truth echoes louder than all the rest. You cannot change people by force, but you can invite them to change themselves. Influence is not domination, it is inspiration. And friendship is not won by demanding, but by giving appreciation, giving respect, giving space for others to shine. So here is the question. What will you do with this knowledge? Will you walk back into your life the same as before, or will you test these principles today? Call someone by their name, ask them about their passions, offer sincere praise, avoid the urge to argue, admit a mistake. Encourage someone who doubts themselves. Watch what happens. These are not tricks, they are seeds. Plant them, and you will harvest loyalty, trust, friendship, and influence. The world is filled with people shouting to be heard, but the ones who rise above are those who listen. The world is filled with critics, but the ones remembered are those who encourage. The world is filled with those who demand respect, but the ones who receive it freely are those who give it first. Dale Carnegie showed us this path, now it is yours to walk. And if this message stirred something inside you, do not let it remain an idea. Practice it today. Share it with others. Because every person you meet carries the same longing to feel valued, respected, important. You have the power to give that gift. Use it, and you will discover the truth that Carnegie revealed. The surest way to win friends and influence people is to help them win themselves.